Hi everyone, my name is Nell and welcome to my tiny studio. Today I'm going to be talking about, this is basically crochet and chat, just a small crochet and chat video. I wanted to show you the progress that I made using Premier's Premier Home 85% recycled cotton yarn. Now I purchased this yarn during my first yarn haul over at Michael's. Michael's was having a 30% off all yarn sale about 2 weeks ago, and I purchased two. I had two yarn hauls off of that sale, and part of that yarn haul was 2 skeins of Premier Home recycled cotton, and I wanted to come back on here to let you know how everything went. Now I was planning to make some dish towels for my kitchen, and I believe the colorway, this is the yarn, and I bought two little skeins of this. So I use some of that skein on this particular hand towel, and the remainder of the first skein went into this towel, and I just used a smidgen of the second skein on this particular hand towel, dish towel I should say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the border or the edging excuse me, for this particular towel as we chat today. But this is the finished results of the first towel. Now I said that I wanted to make 4. I said I wanted to make 4 hand towels, but I mean, not hand towels, dish towels. But I don't think that I'm going to be able to get 4 out of, I think I'll be able to get another skein. I'll be able to get another dish towel out of this, but I don't think that I'll be able to get 2 dish towels out of this this particular skein, or what's left of this skein. I think I'll be able to only get 1 more dish towel from there. However, anyhow, this towel, this hand towel, why do I keep calling it a hand towel? It's not a hand towel, it's a dish towel. This dish towel, I made it so that it could fit in the palm of your hand. I made it textured excuse me, and I ended up using as the border the I love this cotton. I love this, yep, that's right, that's the name of it. I love this cotton yarn that I picked up from Hobby Lobby last year that has sparkles in it. And you remember I was kind of on the fence of whether or not I wanted to use it in a dish towel, but because I was going to use it as a face towel in my bathroom, but decided against it. So I just said, well, let me try it on the dish towel and see how it works up. And it worked out really good. I'm not trying to use any type of sparkly stuff in my bathroom on my face, and I'm sure my husband doesn't want to use anything sparkly, anything like that on his face either. So I think it would be best to use this in the kitchen area. So this is the towel itself. I don't know the name of the stitch that I use for this towel. All I know is that this is half double crochet and single crochet. That's the pattern. Half double crochet, and single crochet. The edges is single crochet, and the cute little border is excuse me, the border is double crochet and the slip stitch. That's what makes the pattern for the border. And again, for the pattern of the tile itself consists of half double crochet and single crochet. So I'm going to sit down, and when I get ready to make the third tile, I will be more specific about it and create the pattern, and that pattern will be on my Revelry page. But now we're going to get to beginning to add the edging to this towel. And what I like to do, and what I find that I absolutely cannot withhold or eliminate from my projects, is I have to finish them. And so for this particular project, even though this is not something for a client or a customer, this is for around the house, I still find it necessary to add edging to it, to make it, to finish it, to complete it, to give it that polished look. And I do not, and I learned the hard way, now I've learned that before I begin creating any type of border for my work, what I do first and foremost is that I add some structure for the border or for the edging. And so that means that I am going to go over the entire perimeter of the towel with single crochet. So what I need to do is go over this entire towel in a single row of single crochet. And the reason why I do that is because it adds a little, it gives the border that I'm going to create on top of it, it gives it structure. This way, the edging or the border will not be pulling from the fabric of the towel. Because when you just put the border or the edging on top, what it does is it pulls at your fabric, and it can cause, it can cause spaces to form within your fabric or within the fabric of your project. And so I don't want any holes or any spaces to be forming while putting in this border. So that's why I'm going to first establish a foundation by using single crocheting all the way around this dish towel, and then from there I'm going to add the border on top of that. So let's get started. I am going to be using a 5mm hook, which just disappeared, and I wanted to use my clover hook and I don't see it. I wanted to use my clover hook for this, so it doesn't look like that's going to be possible. So let me see if I can find another hook to use. Oh, look, there it is. Okay, I found it. Ooh, I was getting nervous there. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I have I have two 5mm hooks around here, but I think one is in my sewing case, and then I have the other here, and the one in my sewing case is the spare. All right, so I'm going to begin. And I have my yarn bowl. If you saw my last episode where I talked about this, I decided, why would I buy an expensive yarn bowl when I have this? I have two, and as a matter of fact, I sure do. I have one sitting up on top of my shelf here in the tiny studio. It used to sit where my crescent bag is. But anyhow, I said, why? Why would I spend a lot of money on a yarn bowl when I already have one? This came from the Wonder Woman movie about a year or so ago. So it had popcorn in it. And look at it. It's so cute. It's red inside. And what do I have in here? I have scissors. Oh, and this yarn is called Premier Home, and it's 96 yards. And that's why I thought I would be able to get 4 dish towels from this, but I misjudged. So anyhow, I'm going to put this white cotton yarn. I love this cotton in my yarn bowl, and I'm going to get started. And it's just as good. It works just as well as any yarn bowl. In my opinion, it works better. But I would say that, right? So this week has been an interesting week. We're still getting over the slap that was heard around the world. We're still getting over that. But I just hope that some type of resolution can be established. I know that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences is supposed to have some type of meeting, and I'm guessing they're going to be talking with Will, and this is supposed to happen on the 18th. And I guess that's when, some formal things are going to start to take place. But then we'll find out exactly what the consequences will be for running up on somebody and knocking them out. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. And I really feel bad for Chris Rock and his family to have witnessed something like that and have to go through the aftermath of that ridiculousness, His brother Tony Rock came out and said he's going to be Tupac all year. His younger brother came out, and I can't remember what his younger brother's name is, but he's come out and say, it's on site for Will. He's not happy about what happened. Of course, people are The Rock family is upset, and anyone who loves Chris is upset. I mean, I'm upset as well. Regardless of how I may feel about you, and regardless of how wrong I may believe you to be, that still does not give me the right to put my hands on you. It doesn't. And I believe that's a problem that we have in this country, that even though some of us are outraged by what Will did, we still, excuse me, in many ways, we subscribe to the on-site theory. We subscribe to violence. We support it. And you may say, well, what do you mean, Tracy? What do you mean we support violence? I don't support violence. Yeah, you kind of do. We all do. Okay, I watch, excuse me, I've been watching the Power franchise for how many years now? 10 years, I want to say, or less, 8 years. I've been watching the Power universe for about 8 years. Okay, and it's all kinds of violence and acts of violence perpetrated in the Power universe. It's true. One of my favorite characters, hey, he's a murdering drug dealer. Tommy. So, yeah, we do choose violence. We choose violence all the time. We celebrate violence. What about Die Hard? One of those movies, I want to say Die Hard 3 or 4, was on the other day on television, and my husband and I were watching some segments of it. That movie is super violent. But ask me, how many Die Hards have I seen at the show? Because we choose violence. We do. We choose violence. We select violence as our friend. Let's see. There's something else. I talked about the Power universe. There are a lot of things that we watch on television and at the movies that we are entertained by that features violence. And we love it. We love it. We spend our money to see it. I mean, I love a good Bruce Lee movie. Okay? Who doesn't? Who doesn't love Bruce Lee? I mean, I was bullied when I was a child. And Bruce Lee, he's the star of every bully's dreams. All bullies want to be like Bruce Lee. They want to be able to kick some butt. Not because, not that we want to start the fight. Okay, because if you notice for Bruce Lee, he's not trying to start the fight. Remember, somebody is always, in every Bruce Lee picture, somebody is always, picking with him, crossing that line, doing something they don't have no business doing. And Bruce Lee is off somewhere minding his own business, and then he gets a message that some BS is going down. He goes to check it out, and then somebody run up on him and jack him up. So he like, oh, no. So then Bruce Lee got to do a Bruce Lee on these people. Every bully knows, every bully would love to do a Bruce Lee on somebody. I guarantee you, Bruce Lee is Will Smith and Chris Rock's hero. How much you want to bet? I bet that. I don't know a black person of a certain age, and Chris Rock, Will, and we are in the same generation. We're about, I think Chris and I are the same age. Will is probably a year or so younger than me. Bruce Lee, he was the hero for all of us black kids, because Bruce Lee ain't take no crap. And here's the thing, you might have bullied Bruce Lee at this point, but you won't be bullying him anymore, because he's gonna come back on you, because he's the dragon. But I'm just saying that when I hear this outrage, oh, we don't do violence. We don't condone violence. Yeah, you do. Hollywood was built on violence. So yeah, you do condone violence. Okay? That Ferrari you driving comes off the backs of violence, right? Or the perpetuation of violence. When I hear just regular people talking about, oh, I don't condone violence. Yeah, you do. Do you spank your children? Do you believe in corporal punishment? I see y'all out there. First thing you want to do is snatch somebody's kid up for talking wrong. So you do condone violence. Don't give me that. As I said before, this country was built on violence. We should just get it understood, or let it be understood, that perhaps there is another way that certain issues can be handled without coming to fisticuffs. That's all I'm saying. But as you see, I'm putting this border here. I already finished the first one, the first side. Well, actually I started in the middle of adding the single crochet. And then when I got to the corner, what I did was I had to make my corner, and so I added 3 single crochets in the corner, because that's what's going to keep your work flat and keep it square. But other than that, I'm kind of tired of the talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock situation. But I said that to talk about T.I. And you may say to yourself, what does T.I. have to do with any of this? I'm about to tell you. So, the Shade Room, which is a gossip site on a social media gossip site, the Shade Room posted video footage of a comedy store or some type of impromptu or improv comedy store, and a shop or spot, and T.I. now, I guess he's trying to be a comedian, child. So anyway, I'm guessing that T.I. had been performing there, and another comic gets up to do her spiel, and while she's going through her act, T.I. is in the audience heckling her. Now, this dude is supposed to be a comic in training himself. So you would think that instead of him sitting in the audience heckling the comic that's on the stage, that he would be listening, that he would be taking notes, that he would be critiquing this comic's performance. And by the way, she was a black woman. You would think that that's what he would be doing, but this fool decides to heckle her, start calling her name, saying she needs to take off her wig, and all kind of ridiculousness. And the young lady said he was heckling her so bad that she had to do what she had to do to get him off of her. And so what did she do? She started telling jokes about him. Yeah. And one of those jokes featured the subject of the allegations, the sexual assault, abuse, or kidnapping allegations that happened to be all over the internet, and that the law enforcement law enforcement or prosecutors looked into those allegations and decided not to pursue charges against T.I., Clifford Harris, and his wife, Tamika Tiny Harris. So while the comic is on the stage trying to do her thing, Tip is in the audience heckling her, attempted to make a fool out of her, and she decided enough is enough. I gotta get this man off of me. So she decides to make some jokes about him, and she references that situation. So, of course, you know, Tip had to go and get him a microphone, and then he had to, well, you know, I gotta protect my family, and those charges was not true, allegations were not true, and you know, that ain't right, and you don't be talking about my family and all this other ridiculousness. So what it really adds up to is, you know, a hit dog will holler, in my opinion. And remember, any commentary that is given in this this Crochet Chat is strictly my opinion. It's my opinion and commentary on pop culture, what's happening in pop culture. So that's what he said. So Shade Room posted that. So of course Tip is in the comments talking about I gotta protect mine or whatever he said, and you know, a certain amount of people, yeah, you know, these comedians, they need to get it together, and they can't just be running around talking about any old thing anymore, and time out for that, and blah 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 blah. Basically, everyone was on Tip's side. Even Tiny was in the comments. But here's the thing, and this is what makes this is why I don't fool with T.I., Tip, or Tiny. This is why I don't fool with them. See, that girl, the female, the sister, the comic, she was just doing her thing. She wasn't bothering Tip. She wasn't bothering saying anything about him. She wasn't heckling him. She didn't point him out like Chris Rock did to Jada. She didn't say anything about him first. Okay? The person that was doing the heckling and the intimidation and the tomfoolery was Tip. So when that sister decided I had enough of this guy talking about me like a dog, and she reaches in her bag of tricks and pulls out some arsenal to fire back in defense, dude got something to say. What kind of sense does that make? People just can't say everything. People just can't be talking about these were allegations that were proven to be false and blah 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 blah. And you know I gotta protect my family, and all this ridiculousness. How about you show respect, number one, to black women? Number two, respect your fellow comics. Since this is supposed to be your new thing, respect your fellow comics. Number four, if you don't want people going and reaching into their bag of tricks to say disparaging things about you, how about you be inconspicuous and not heckle and harass other people? Then they won't feel that they have to defend themselves in the best way that they know how, with their words. And isn't that what comics do? Use their words. That's what writers do. Use language. And that's what she did. But he had a problem with that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're going to go and throw a rock and then hide your hand. And now everybody's saying, oh, these comics need to get it together or everybody's going to start running up on them. Listen, like O.J. Simpson said, when he was going through his ridiculousness, and we all know what that was. There are so many O.J. Simpson jokes. It was ridiculous. Wasn't that Chris Rock who said that O.J. Simpson left him a message? Wasn't that Chris Rock who said that? Chris Rock said that he got home one day and O.J. Simpson left him this message talking about, I don't appreciate you what you said about me and your stage show or something. I think that was Chris Rock. But like O.J. said, hey, if I ran up on somebody because they told a joke about me that I didn't like, and I did that on-site stuff, I'd be up under the jail. And he's right. You know how many people sit back? You know how many comics have told jokes about other celebrities and stars? Said things that was could be considered under the belt, below the belt. And I'm sure that in private there have been words exchanged. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? It's the nature of what comics do. They make people laugh. They provide humorous commentary on what's going on in the world. I remember, well, like Saturday Night Live. That's what Saturday Night Live does. Poke fun at pop culture. Remember when President Ford fell down the stairs? Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase made a living parodying President Ford. President Ford ain't like it, but eventually he was like, that's funny. How about Dana Carvey? I think his name is Dana Carvey. Anyhow, he used to parody George Bush #1, and I think that was George H. Bush. And he was funny too. My favorite Dana Carvey, I think that's his name. My favorite George Bush, I loved it when he would say, not prudent, not gonna do it, not wouldn't be prudent. And then he would say, a thousand points of light. Oh my goodness. I loved it when he parodied George H. Bush. And it was funny. It was funny. And sometimes you have to laugh to keep from crying, right? Okay, so here's the single crochet border or edging, and it is all around this towel. Just single crochet all the way around. So now I am going to begin the border pattern. And the border pattern is double crochet and a slip stitch. So I'm going to get to it in a second. Okay, so here's the stitch. So double crochet is always 2 loops on your hook, going to your stitch, grab your yarn, pull it up. Now you have 3 hoops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. I can't believe I did that again. Can you believe that? Just unbelievable. Let me start again. And you know what? I would do this when I'm filming. Again. The double crochet stitch is 2 loops on your hook. 2. Take your hook, go into the stitch, pull your yarn through the stitch. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, you have 4. Now you're going to take that yarn, pull through 2. You have 2 left, pull through 2, and you've completed your double crochet stitch. Now I'm going to do the slip stitch, which is I have one loop on my crochet hook. I'm going to go into the stitch. I'm going to pull my yarn through the stitch and then go through the top of the stitch again. And that was the slip stitch. One more time for this pattern. Double crochet, 2 hoops on your hook, go through your stitch, bring in your yarn through the stitch. You have 3 hoops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 1 stitch left on your hook, go through the next stitch, pull through some yarn and pull through. You have 2 on your hook, pull through, back to 1. And that is going to be the border or the edging for this towel. It's a simple pattern, and once you learn it or get the hang of it, you will enjoy it. And it's a cute stitch. I should say it's a cute pattern. I'm thinking about making some slippers where all I'm going to use, the only stitch pattern I'm going to use is the slip stitch. But I thought that was amusing. I think that whatever is good for the goose must be good for the gander. I believe that the pot cannot call the pot cannot call the skillet black, because they both are cut from similar pieces of iron. Am I not correct? Yes. But you know, I don't want to just say that celebrities have issues with being hypocrites and narcissists. Everyday people, it's the same spiel. People love to do stuff to you, but when it come back on them, ooh, it's a problem. Why is it a problem? If you put that energy out there into the universe, why can't it come back and slap you in the head? Oh, you too good for that? You're not supposed to get that energy back? Because that's what energy is. You know, when you put things out here into the world, you really do reap what you sow. So if you out here doing ridiculous stuff to people, and you have the mentality that since you are a celebrity, no one can touch you, you need to rethink that. And T.I., of all people, need to rethink that. But he won't, and that's why I stopped following him. I stopped following T.I. when all that stuff went down about his daughter, about him going to the gynecologist with her and all that ridiculousness. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And his little red table talk drama, you know, with him up there trying to school everybody, I didn't like that. It just what he revealed to me on that Red Table Talk was his ignorance. What Tiny revealed to me on the Red Table Talk was her passiveness. Her willingness to take the BS for love. It ain't no way I'm going to be having a man talk down to me like I'm nothing and nobody, like I don't know nothing. Because that's how he talked to Tiny on the Red Table Talk. He talked to her like she was dumb. I think that's really disrespectful. But dude is disrespectful. And he's not just disrespectful to Tiny. Obviously, this is across the board. What's that girl name that used to be Tiny's friend? Shekinah. You know, he was talking to her all crazy. He just likes doing that, I guess. Because women let him get away with it. That's what I think. Women allow him to get away with that ridiculousness. And that's why he only keeps a certain type of woman with him. He keeps that type of woman with him because she'll put up with that craziness. So when he got a dose of his own medicine, he decided to lash out at that black woman. And that's another thing that amazes me about Tip. I just think he secretly dislikes women. I just think that anybody, hey Gene, that's my husband. Say hi to everybody, Gene Pooh.
Hello.
I think that when you can sit there and disrespect women on a regular and not think anything about it, to me, that shows that you don't like women at all. And I'm not saying that the dude has some type of sexuality issue. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it feels like he just don't like women. He just don't respect them. He thinks he knows more than everybody, all women especially. I don't know what happened to him in his childhood that formed his opinion about women in such a negative way. But what he did to that comic was wrong. Very, very wrong. And for him to jump up in the middle of her set and decide that he's gonna step to her and correct her, it's just ridiculous. So I have to sit there and listen to you attack me in the audience. I gotta listen to you attack me, attack my character, tell me I need to take my wig off. I'm up here trying to do a set. And you call yourself a comic too. Which I think is so dumb. So what, he just stopped rapping or something? I guess after all that drama went down with those sexual abuse allegations, I guess he decided he needed to find another career. And I guess becoming a comic is it, huh? I don't know. I just want to make sure that you know that everything in this video is alleged. It's my commentary, my opinion. I'm not trying to maliciously hurt anyone. Just give my opinion on what I saw and what I know to be for sure. Speaking about allegations and opinions and YouTube and all of that stuff, a judge just ordered Tasha K to take down all her videos. I'm guessing all the videos that she sits back and references Cardi B in any way, the judge has asked her or issued an order for her to take those videos down. I think they said she had 5 days to do it. But you know, I thought that she had already taken the videos down. Did she say that? Or did she take down the ones that, the most egregious ones? Did she just take those down? That's what it sounds like. It's probably what she did. But now the judge wants her to take all those Cardi B videos down. I don't blame her. I don't blame Cardi. I would want them. I would want you to have. I want you not to ever. Oh, and then the judge also said that hit her with a gag order, saying that she could not discuss Cardi or the case at all. So that's one of those, keep my name out your MF mouth. So know this, I'm not trying to trust me, after I talk about this, I really won't have anything else to say about Tip or Tiny. Not really, because I don't follow them on Instagram anymore. I don't follow them on Twitter. I don't follow them on any social media. So I only know when stuff is going down by through a third party, and that third party happened to be the Shade Room. Because I don't, like I said, I don't fool with them. And I'm at the same corner with the Braxton sisters too. I'm at the same corner with them as well. My daughter made some hot cocoa. And I should say it's I learned how to make it. It's a recipe for French hot cocoa in one of Julia Child's cookbooks, The French Chef. And I showed my daughter how to do it, how to make it. And she does an excellent job, I must say. But right, I don't follow the Braxton sisters either because of the drama they have going on right now. And it disturbs me to even speak on it. Because I really don't want to disrespect, the spirit of Tracy Braxton. So I'm not going to get all into, that ridiculousness over there. Because I really do believe that the energy you put out is the energy that you receive. And I'm not about to dabble in whatever it is they have going on over there. I've given my opinion about that, sort of, and like I said, when you dabble in negativity and bad energy, that kind of, it comes back on you. And so I experienced some backlash and energy from becoming involved in that conversation. And you know, that's the thing about social media. The thing about social media is that you can find yourself being pulled into conversations that are inherently negative and feeding that bad energy. And then the next thing you know, you're wondering why you can't sleep. You're wondering why you're having all these aches and pains. You're wondering why you're arguing and fussing and fighting with your mate. The reason is because you've invested in some negative, low vibrating energy on social media, and you turned off or logged off of whatever it was, but the residual effects from involving yourself in negativity is still there. So I'm having a great day, and whatever they're doing over there, that's their business. So I'm almost finished with this border. It has taken me less than an hour to finish it, from what I can see with time. And this washcloth, and I'm thinking that with the border or the edging for this particular pattern, it may take you and I guess it also depends on the speed in which you crochet. It should take you 2 hours all in. And like I said, it probably depends or will depend on how fast you crochet, how large your towel is. All of that would, I suppose, factor in to how long it takes you. But when I make the third dish towel tonight, I'm going to sit down and work the pattern up, and I'm going to time it to how long it's going to take. And see, what I have to do next is I'm going to have to weave in my ends. Now I know some people will go ahead and weave in the ends as they go along, and I do that sometimes as well, but this time I didn't, so I'm going to have to weave in my ends. But here's another dish towel completed, and here's the second one. Well, here's the first one, and here's the second. And I had With the first one, I had ends that I had to weave in as well. And all I do, I don't use a yarn needle. I just use my smallest crochet hook, which is which is my purple, and I believe, which is this 4 millimeter hook. I either use that to weave in the ends, or I use something small. I think I have I know I do have a 3.5. Here it is. This is a 3.5 millimeter clover hook, and I just use my clover hook, some of the smallest clover hooks that I have in my collection. I use this to weave in my ends. Now, yes, I do have yarn hooks. I have metal, and I have the plastic ones as well to weave in ends. But I just find that I enjoy using the small clover hook to weave in my ends. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to use it to weave in my end, and the way it looks is, let's see. All I do to weave in the ends is I take my hook, I find a nice stitch to go into. You can see that. And then I grab my yarn, I pull it through that stitch, and then I continue to do the same thing. And I just go right on throughout the tile. And see, that's what I didn't like about this yarn, is that it unravels. Gosh, it unravels so much, and I really dislike that. And now I'm trying to weave in my ends, and I'm really not feeling it as it unravels, but I'm going to do the best that I can. And you just go ahead and you just weave it all the way through. Weave your ends right on through the fabric. I used to just go ahead and knot it. I used to just knot my work, but occasionally, sometimes, if you don't knot it properly, then the knot eventually comes out. And that's a tubby mess. That's a big mess. You don't want that. You don't want because if the knot comes loose, then your whole project unravels, and nobody wants that. Especially when you are complete a project for a customer. You don't want that project to unravel on them. I've seen crocheters use fabric glue on the knot to keep the knot from unraveling. I guess you could do that as well. I've tried to do it, but I'm kind of messy when it comes to glue, so that idea did not work out for me. What are some things that you use or that you do to hide your ends? If you're a crocheter, you probably just do like me. You probably just weave your ends in. Weave in the ends. And there are some projects where, some people have lots of ends they have to weave in. That's a whole project within itself is the ends, the weaving part. I've seen people say, I'll, and I wonder if they do it as well. I wonder if they do that. I've heard people say, look, I'll pay you such and such amount of money if you go ahead and weave in these ends for me. So then what I do is when I get to the end of weaving in everything, end of weaving in, then remember that long piece of yarn, that long piece of end that was hanging right here? Well, guess what? I've woven it in and you can't see it, can you? Nope. So that just goes to show you just a small size crochet hook would do a really good job of weaving in the ends. So now I just have to do this how many more times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to do this 6 more times. But it'll be so cute when I'm done, and who cares? It's the finished work that counts, right? So thank you so much for hanging out with me in my tiny studio today. I hope you were able to get some things accomplished and some projects done, or just accomplish whatever goals that you may have for today. It's been about 1 hour and 6 minutes, so I got my work done. So I hope that you got your work done as well today. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like this video. And if you're not already a subscriber to Simply Nails Tiny Studio, why don't you go ahead and do that? I know you had some fun listening to me run my mouth. Oh my goodness. So I want you to have a really great day and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.